to celebrate. Let's all come together to share our hearts of love that we feel for one another. That's a holiday song to get us started today.
Wow.
That song is by Sound of Blackness.
I was going to say, I don't know that one.
It's called Soul Holiday. Get it on your roster of Christmas songs if you have not done it already, or holiday songs, because it's a basic holiday song. It has to do with Christmas, but not solely Christmas. It's about celebrating in a special way.
Okay.
No matter who you worship or who you do not worship, it's all about the soul holiday. And my favorite part of the song is when they go, "You better have my present." It's in the song. They're like, "You better have my present."
Oh, God.
This holiday. You never heard it? Love we share. We like to share it a special way. You never heard this?
Maybe I'd have to actually hear the real thing to know.
I'm giving you real. I'm on key right now. I practiced this morning. I'm on pitch. I got my little pitch pipe out. Went key before I started.
Mm-hmm. Heard that.
No, before this whole thing. Anyway, welcome back, friends. Another episode. 18 to 49. Feeling mighty fine. All the class and all the trash. The class is over there. Her name's Alaia. The trash is over here. My name's Brandi. What up? I'm very comfortable with calling myself trash. Not like I'm trash.
I wonder what that says psychologically.
I know, right? It says that I don't have any hang-ups about myself.
That's good.
I know that I'm awesome. And I can also say that I'm trashy. Because I do have trashy material that I bring here. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. I took my Strengths Finder assessment. I know who I am as a person. ENFP in this piece.
Okay.
I know it's not Strengths Finder. I went to another assessment. A lot of people don't know Strengths Finder 2.0. I went to Myers-Briggs on those people. Enneagram, I'm a 7 with an 8 wing. Get at me. Can we talk about something before we get started today? Outside of that, did you want to give your Myers-Briggs too?
Well, I was always an INFP, and then I took the test actually like 2 days ago, and supposedly I'm an INS. No, I'm an IS something that I wasn't before, and for some reason it upsets me. Well, I don't know why it upsets me.
You didn't want the change.
I don't think I wanted the change.
That's all right. Have you taken the Strengths Finder?
Of course. I'm obsessed with the Strengths Finder.
Okay, what are your things on So listen, this is a really good time because we're giving you education right now because we would have dove into this other topic, but now we're talking about education. So Strengths Finder is the greatest assessment, I think, in the American history of assessments. Don't you?
I love it.
It talks about playing to your strengths and not focusing on what you believe to be weaknesses or what are realistically weaknesses in your life. So it's all about playing to your talents and playing to what you're really good at. So Strengths Finder 2.0 is the greatest. You can get the book and you can take the assessment and then you will learn a lot about yourself. What are yours though, Alaia? Go.
Input, connectedness, intellection, empathy, and developer. I don't know the order, but input's first. That's all I know.
I believe it.
Input's always been first.
Connectedness, I see it.
Yep.
Would you like to know mine?
Yep.
This is the order because I memorized it because I was proud. Woo, positivity.
Of course.
Strategic. Adaptability and futuristic.
Oh my God. So you.
Bam. Do you see that? Jesus, take the assessment. Give it as gifts for the holiday. It's really good.
Yeah.
Has a little action plan.
You can even do it online if you don't like getting things in the mail.
Yeah, you don't have to
like getting things in the mail.
Yeah, you don't have to do it I did mine online. I have the ebook.
Well, there's the book, or you can just go straight online and take the test.
Oh, you should get the book too, though.
I think so.
The book is great because it gives you in-depth analysis of each one of the different types, and then also gives you little check boxes and action items and things you can do, which I think is super.
You get that in the online version too, but there's something about that one that I like with the book.
You need a book.
Anyway, this is bonus information. People don't think that they can come here
for this
and get what they need. But look at that.
Face, look at this. We're not just talking about pop culture. We're smart over here. We know things. Read books. In your face. This is what I wanted to talk about before we get into the show. Outside of that, this is really on topic. So Alaia online this week posted a picture of a very cute baby, which I think should be the Shiro of the week. Is this very adorable baby?
She was so flippin' cute.
So I don't know where Alaia found this child, but this child looks like a porcelain, delicious, juicy China doll. And all I wanted to do was sit the child on some sort of stand or lay it comfortably so that it can enjoy life and play with it and let people come by and look at it and have their days turned around. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that describe that baby? The baby, like, if you saw this baby, I think the day I saw the baby, I wasn't having a terrible day. I mean, it wasn't like the best. I had a little bit of headache, got some migraine things going on. And so I saw this baby and I forgot about everything. Forgot about a migraine. I forgot about my eye exam. Really dilated my pupils and I couldn't see very well. I forgot about all that because I saw that baby. That baby gave me sight. I was legally blind before.
I know.
The baby gave me sight.
I was like, my day was fine. I was actually having a good day. And then I saw that baby and I'm just like, oh my God, what would my babies look like? How can I snatch this baby? Like, I was just totally thrown off track.
Yeah, I thought about, and this is the only time I will admit to thinking about kidnapping. I was like, is that baby available for kidnapping?
I know.
I would never kidnap someone's child, but that child, I was like, well, let's see. How would you do this? How would you do this? The reason I bring up that baby, not only is because I think that baby should be the shero of the week, because it was a shero. It gave me sight and it gave you the ability to think about kidnapping as well as I did, and have a great day. I thought it interesting, and I've been seeing this a lot. People posting baby photos, mostly on baby photos, and then sometimes on men. Photos of men, because men get posted a lot. There's so many different accounts for just shirtless men. Yeah, and men with beards, men with natural hair.
Beard is like my favorite Instagram account. I'm going to pull it up right now.
There's one that I like that's FABM, and they're on Twitter. They have very beautiful men.
They're not on Instagram?
I think they're on Instagram too, but I think they're on Twitter mostly is when I usually see the photos. And so what I find interesting, here's the topic of the conversation. I've seen a lot. I was going to write about this, but then I forgot.
Oh, fine ass black men. Is that what it stands for? Yes, they are on Instagram.
They are delicious. Oh, okay, great. And they are.
Sorry, I just saw something.
I know they post some questionable photos sometimes. Sometimes they have some submissions that I think are really interesting.
Well, this one is apparently of Wiz Khalifa, but wow.
Well, sometimes they post other things. The thought that I had was, I'm seeing women talk about their reproductive organs in a way that I've never seen before. Online.
I know.
Have you?
It's weird. Yeah, they're exploding. Things are.
Yeah, so I was like, someone wrote, and I've never thought, like, so I would never want this to happen because it would hurt a lot. You could be in the hospital. You know what I mean? I don't know. But it's like the picture of the baby that you had. Someone was like, oh my God, my ovary just exploded. It was like, oh, geez.
Yeah.
Oh God, really? Ouch. And it was like, my ovaries are tap dancing right now. And it's just, I think it's interesting that people and women, and I've even seen some men say my uterus just exploded, which I think is interesting as well.
That makes me laugh.
Yeah, I don't know. But I think social media now has allowed women to feel quite free about talking about their reproductive organs in a way that they've never talked about them before. Not just like sexual liberation. I'm talking about saying your ovaries are literally jumping, your uterus is doing somersaults, your fallopian tubes did a handstand, like that kind of stuff. You know?
I know. It's pretty, I don't say things like that because I don't even know what to say, but it's pretty interesting.
I've seen exploding, somersault, jumping jacks, dancing, tap dancing. I can't think of anything else. I made up the handstand thing because fallopian tubes too, they could do a handstand. Anyway, yeah, so I thought that was interesting. Wanted to just see if you took note of that as well.
Yes, I have. It's
I feel like right now you're
hilarious.
Distracted because you're looking at the
fine ass black man.
And I feel like I should never have introduced that before the show.
Probably not.
There's some really good photos on there, though.
But I mean, I've definitely witnessed that, and I just think it's kind of funny. But then, then you see people getting more outrageous because you can't have 10 people on the same thread saying their ovaries exploded.
Right.
So everyone's like, I just got hit by a truck, or I don't know. I don't know. They just seem to get more extreme trying to be creative.
Yeah, it really, I mean, it's like, okay, so her ovaries exploded. Her uterus did a somersault. These fallopian tubes did a handstand, and you just got crushed by a semi. Hit me with a bus. Roll over my legs with a cement roller. I don't know. But yeah, it's getting interesting. It's getting very interesting. And then the other thing I was thinking about is some of these people that they post on these accounts, these beard men and these other men, where are these people?
I don't know.
Have you ever seen one of these people in 3D?
No, not with the frequency that I would like.
I go out places. You know what I mean? I'm out on town. I'm in the community. And it's just like, who are these? And I mean, I don't know. I guess men are saying the same thing when they see me. Where are these women? But I'm just, Because I don't look like any of those women on those accounts at all. Never have I dressed like one of those women, and I definitely don't do all that other jazz. But I see these. I'm like, who are these? I've never seen these men before in my life.
I know.
Where do they live?
I'd like to see them.
Where do they live?
Portland. I don't know.
Portland.
Seattle. I don't know. I don't know.
Wyoming. What if they all lived in Wyoming?
Oh my God. Someone I know went to Wyoming last week, and I think I posted why? If you meet people, let us know. But I forget who it was, so now I can't check back.
Dang it.
But I was like, who goes to Wyoming?
What if you found out that all those people on those accounts lived in Wyoming? What if Wyoming is like the mecca of beautiful people of Instagram?
It doesn't really matter because I'm still black.
That doesn't matter. I'm talking about.
I can't have a life in Wyoming.
Yes, you can. You can be.
I can't follow the men there.
Can't you be a farmer or something? What do you do in Wyoming? Do they farm cattle?
No idea.
Not cattle, I bet. Okay, no problem. All right, hey, you came to listen to us talk about some TV shows, I guess, and some popular culture news, and some viral sensations on the stations. Should we dive into television, Alaia? I didn't see any movies. Chris Rock's movie's coming out.
I know. I was supposed to go. That. I had a ticket for tonight, but I have other responsibilities, so I can't go. So I have to watch it after the fact.
That sounds like a bunch of hogwash.
I know. It's an important thing, though. Okay. Duty calls.
Okay.
I'm keeping up with the holiday movies, so I've seen movies technically.
Okay.
I saw The Ice Storm.
Is that good?
The children made me uncomfortable. They were all very strange. It was Elijah Wood and Topher Grace, and I feel like I just watched some other movie that they were both in, but that might have been the preview for Spider-Man, because I don't think I actually watched another movie they were both in. But the two of them together is kind of a lot to handle, and they both, all the four children in that movie were very odd.
What happened to Elijah Wood? You remember when he was a bee's knees?
Yeah.
It was all about Elijah Wood. You could not go anywhere without talking about Mr. Wood, and now, who knows about him?
Yeah. So... watch that. I watched The Holiday, which I'd seen before, and it's a holiday movie, but
with Queen
it's
Latifah?
one of the... Oh God, no.
Oh, that's last holiday.
That's last holiday.
My bad.
Holiday is Kate Winslet, Cameron Diaz, Jude Law, Jack Black, and Ed Burns in a minor role. It's one of the few romantic comedies I actually kind of like. So I've seen it once or twice before. And this list is not comprised of movies I've never seen before. That wasn't the point. Mm-hmm. I saw Love Actually, and as I watched that, I realized I probably will never see that movie again.
Which one is that one?
That's the one that everyone's in. Hugh Grant, everybody.
I get that one confused with
the little boy likes the black girl who sings at the end, and he runs to the airport, and then there's a Christmas song. Like this old rocker comes back and he says...
I get that confused with August Rush.
I haven't seen August Rush.
That's a great movie.
But no, Love Actually is the one where all the stories are connected, and like Hugh Grant is the prime minister and he likes the secretary. Mm-hmm. And it's almost... And Keira What's-Her-Face is in it. Keira Knightley. With Chiwetel Ejiofor. Didn't know who he was then when it originally came out. But it makes me feel like there's something wrong with me. Like I already knew that I didn't like romantic comedies, but I used to like Love Actually. And now I'm like... I will never watch this again. Like when the guy likes Keira Knightley and he like goes to the house and he has the signs so that he doesn't say anything. And he's like, it's Christmas. And at Christmas, you tell the truth, which who the hell says that? And he's like, so I just want to tell you that this guy loves you and that's all. And then he like walks away because she's married to his best friend. But then she like runs out in the street and gives him a kiss. It's like, is that a pity kiss? Is that a... oh, I have feelings for you too, but I'm married to your best friend, so we're going to leave this alone. I don't really know. And then like the boy running through the airport to get to the girl, like these are just romantic comedy things that I can't handle. I appreciated Hugh Grant dancing when he thought he was alone.
I like how you're searching for things. You're like, this thing happened.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Here's another indicator that I'm ruined. My favorite story is now the one with Laura Linney, who can't keep a relationship because her brother is always calling. The brother who's like mentally ill or whatever. So he always calls and he thinks someone's after him, or like he went to dinner with some celebrity. And so she's about to like do it with this really hot guy named Carl. And then her brother calls and Carl's like, it's okay, things happen. And then the brother calls again and Carl's like,
isn't okay.
Carl's like, if you answer the phone, will anything change? And she's like, no. But then she answers it anyway. And Carl's like, all right, F this, I'm out. And then that like the relationship's done. And then in the end, she's like the only one who's really alone at Christmas because she's like with her brother who like tries to hit people and stuff. And that was like the best story in the whole. than the whole movie to me.
You're like, this is more like real life.
Seriously. Like, I could have watched a 2-hour thing about her.
Let me see this brother kicking people again. Yeah.
I could have watched 2 hours on like her trying to like navigate through life and love and career with this brother that she's trying to take care of. And I'm like, screw everybody else and their stupid.
Screw these stupid
holiday love.
Screw these unrealistic holiday love stories. Really though, when have you ever seen or heard of anyone who has had a man come to their house with signs and like music and holding up the signs and like, number one, who throws a stone at anyone's window? You can't even get into my backyard, boo. Second, are you going to be standing out there with a guitar or a jukebox playing, or a jukebox, boombox, something, playing jams and holding up signs? My mom would come outside and hit you. I'm just like, where's this happening? In an apartment building? You're going to be standing in front of somebody's apartment with some signs? You can't even get in the gate.
Exactly.
Maybe New York or something on a brownstone. I don't know. You wouldn't do that anyway.
And then I discovered that I have a 1 DVD plan on Netflix and not 2. And when Elf came, it was cracked. And I don't know if I mentioned that last week or not.
And you were devastated.
Yeah. So I had to return that. And they sent the Holiday. So that's what I watched on disc. But now I'm waiting for the next disc. So I had to swap another DVD for something that I could watch on TV. So the Very Brady Christmas came on ABC Family. And that movie is so 80s.
The movie's awful.
It was terrible. I'd seen it before, but it was terrible. But I watched that and Elf did come on ABC Family, so I DVR'd it. So I've got some like backup movies thanks to ABC.
Yeah, that's not the good Elf.
No, it is. It's the one with what's-his-face.
I know, but that's not the Elf that the rated R version Elf.
There's a rated R version?
I mean, don't they like blurt things out? He doesn't like curse a ton, but don't they like filter it somehow? Censor?
I have no idea. I don't remember.
I feel like they'd censor it. Or maybe I think about Bad Santa.
I think you're thinking about Bad Santa.
Sorry, Bad Santa came on regular TV and it was bleeped out.
Yeah, that will never be on ABC Family, but that is coming on disc and I'm looking forward to it. And then tomorrow night, I see a movie in the theater, Holiday Inn, a classic.
I don't know what that is.
Bing Crosby, can't wait. Mm-hmm. Love my life.
Still don't know what that's about. Sorry. Stay to Holiday Inns, though.
So that's it for movies.
Fantastic.
In general, because you didn't watch any. So that's our movie segment. I watched the movies,
but you don't want me to talk about those. So we'll continue on. I mean, they weren't really good, so we can continue on. They're old movies that I've been wanting to see, but...
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought we were going in another direction.
No,
okay.
ma'am, I didn't. No, madam, I did not go to the Peep Show or anything along those lines. Yes. We could have went that direction, though, because I've been throwing some balls here today. Did you watch the Saturday Night Live? I don't watch Saturday Night Live at all, but they've been having these, like, the best of Saturday Night Live episodes.
Yeah, I caught the tail end, and if I don't catch it at the beginning, I'm not going to watch, so I didn't.
They had the one with the ladies who did the NPR segments.
Sweaty balls?
Yeah, they had the sweaty balls on there. It was hilarious. But
that will always be funny.
It's the funniest piece, though, is how those ladies seriously sound just like NPR. Like hey, that's really great. Love those balls. Hee 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 hee. With the laughing and all. Because NPR, how do the NPR people make their voices like that? Because it's just like, we're in the studio today, hanging out with Bob. Ha 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 ha. And there's no emotion whatsoever on NPR. Besides Serial, that Serial podcast everyone loves and all these other things. But
I need to listen to that eventually.
Yeah, NPR was like for a long time was just so super dry. It still is kind of super dry to me. I like listening to it, but it's just like their voices all are.
My thing is, I'm not anti-NPR, and I think if I had to listen to news or talk radio, I'd listen to NPR. Mm-hmm. But when I'm cruising down the road, I don't want to listen to talk. I want to listen to songs.
You want to listen to some jams.
Exactly.
You want to listen to LaBouche.
Basically.
That was the funniest thing I had read when you put LaBouche. I was like, bruh.
Who lists LaBouche as their favorite?
LaBouche was the bomb. What do you mean? I was surprised not to see Crystal Waters on there. Like, only LaBouche? What about the rest of the jams?
For all of you who are not in the loop, I discovered a journal from 7th grade.
You talked about it last week.
I did.
Yeah.
That's right. So I had an entry. The journal assignment was kinds of music. And I'm sure I was just supposed to talk about genres and stuff like that. But me being the over-explainer and just like wanting people to know, I literally broke down the post by category. So I like Christian music. And then here were like the 10 artists. And then R&B and disco and retro, and I listed like LaBouche as one of my favorites right after Donna Summer.
My favorite is how you forgot. You were like, oh my God, I love LaBouche too. That was my favorite part of the entry. It was
and I was like,
LaBouche.
And then rap, I said like, I like Tupac, Coolio, and I listened to some songs. And then I was like, but I don't really listen to rap. Oh yeah, I like Fantastic Voyage or like whatever.
My favorite is like those journals don't make any sense. Like I saw one of mine too, and it's just like, I really don't like doing that, but I did it 17 times. And I was like, okay, I thought you didn't like it. Little children. Crazy little coot.
The entry was pretty great.
Yeah. Seventh graders. Rocking on those little seventh graders, those in-betweeners.
Talking about your friends. And I said one girl was my best friend because we were both Christians.
Yeah.
We were both good in math and we liked the same shoes or something like
and y'all
that.
were both good. And my favorite was too, we have all the same classes together except every other class. You only have two classes together.
We have all the same classes except first, second, fifth, and sixth. It's like, what?
I was like, you don't have all the same classes then. That's like the whole day you guys don't have together.
And of course, one of the only classes we had together was health. And like she lived with her sister and her brother-in-law, and I was with my mom, obviously. Mm-hmm. And they were like so super Christian, they wouldn't let us sit in on sex ed. So the two of us and my other friend, David, like we had to sit outside and do bookwork on sex ed.
Meant? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So everyone else got to watch condoms getting put on bananas, and we like had to sit outside and read the books because our parents wouldn't let us go to sex ed.
It's so awesome.
So health was one of the classes we had together that I remember.
And you guys were good in class. That was on report too. You like, we're both very good. I'm like, that's good.
I always got the citizenship awards.
That's
Don't
awesome.
trip.
Hey, you best be a good citizen.
I found some of them too.
Are you serious?
Yes.
That's awesome.
I want to frame them.
You should and hang them up. I found my ribbons. They were a little tarnished, but that's all right. A little faded.
Good times. Good memories. It's a good time of year to reminisce.
It sure is. If you're not reminiscing, you're missing.
Mm-hmm.
Just made that up right there. I watched some TV.
So did I, but you probably watched more. Go for it.
I didn't actually. I only watched one night of television. I mean,
December sucks for TV.
Yeah, I mean, nothing that I really want to see is on yet.
So what'd you see?
Well, I mean, during the week. So I mean, I only have really Sunday. So I watched Resurrection. It came back. I missed it last week.
I saw you tweeting and ignored it.
Yeah, that's okay. You can block us. My favorite friend on Twitter, who always notifies me when I miss, is DJ Killer Wells. He's my friend, and I'm going to tell him that I shouted him out on this episode. But yeah, so he's like, hey, are you here? It's time to tweet. I'm like, thank you, friends, because I almost missed it. This episode, let's see. How do I want to ruin this? I'm just going to. So Tom gets killed. Tom is a pastor. He got hit by a truck by the militant group of people who don't want the return to be in town. I'm going to make this very brief because I'd rather spend my trash time talking about TLC programming. So he got killed. I say he's going to come back. What's his wife's name? Janine. Janine's his wife. She's crazy.
Don't look to me for answers.
Oh, I know. You don't know him. I write these things down because I want to remember the names. Janine is his wife. She's crazy. She goes and captures the woman that was his returned girlfriend that committed suicide that was pregnant. Do you remember we talking about her?
Yes.
Her name is Rachel. Okay, so she basically kidnaps her and becomes all obsessive and traps her in this house. And everybody's like, girl, why don't you run? Run away from this girl. So she goes there making tea. She's like, I've come to my senses because she tries to run out of the front. She tries to run out of the front door first, Rachel. Okay. Duh, the woman's crazy, right? You can't unlock the door because it's a key lock. She has the key. She runs to the back and looks at the same lock like, oh my God, how am I going to get out? You're going to have to hit her upside the head, girl. That's the only way you're going to escape. So anyway, they're drinking some tea in this next scene. She's like, can you please go and get me some sugar? She's like, sure, no problem. There's some over here. She opens up the sugar bowl to the biggest swarm of ants that I've ever seen in my life. These ants look like these Amazonian ants that I've never seen. They were huge. I was like, who has these huge ants? Like, these clearly were planted by the prop people because these ants look so unnatural. I was hoping for a small sugar ant. They were big, huge ants that look like they could carry sticks. As you can see, I have a phobia of ants. Next, let's see what else happened. Pastor Tom got hit. That's pretty good. Janine was crazy. What else happened? Oh, Carl was the cop. His crazy brother came back. He was the one that died of the disease. He's the one that hit the pastor. They arrested him. That was all good. Grandma Goon got upset because, what's his name? Frank. Is it Frank or Henry? I can't remember. Frank is trying to do business with the return guy who knows about the fire at the factory. She's getting mad about that. She doesn't want him to do business. Tells him, basically Frank's like, yo, you're not going to tell me what to do. She kind of reads him. He kind of reads her. That was the end of that thing. And then basically at the end of the episode, Grandma Goon, who's the same woman who plays, I don't know her real name, so sorry, Game of Thrones, Mama Stark, but she's been killed if you've seen the episode of Game of Thrones. Anyway, she takes Jacob, who's a little boy, who's a Sixth Sense return person that works with Agent Bellamy, takes him away. Agent Bellamy gets sick. He doesn't have any more of his antibiotic, almost dies. They find out they can take the serum, what is this stuff called, from amniotic fluid from Rachel's stomach. They can take that, somehow synthesize some kind of drug that can save his life. They're going to do that. That's about it. That's the end. Merry Christmas. Hope you enjoyed the show. Oh, everybody wants Rachel and Bellamy to kiss and get together. I do.
Did this show get canceled? I can't remember.
Excuse me. You wait yourself. No, it has not. It's going to come back on. It's going to be on forever.
You know when you said you wait yourself? Do you know which video is making the rounds again?
Worry About Yourself?
Yes.
I love that little girl.
I love her.
Why is everybody acting like they didn't see it the first time? That little girl was, I watched her.
She was everywhere and I loved it.
A million times. What about yourself? No, I got it. Love that girl. And then the other little girl.
And I wonder who said it to her like that she learned to say it back like that.
Maybe she said, I don't know. I have no idea.
I love it though.
But the other little girl in the car is like, Daddy. I'm like, lady on the side. Nobody wants to talk to you, little girl. This video is all about this precious one over here to the left. You on the right. We know you got your seatbelt on just fine. You're older. We're talking about the cute one.
You're fine. Back to the other one.
Right.
She's like, you drive.
You drive. You turn around. You drive. You worry about yourself. I got it. No, I don't need it. No. Drive. That's my favorite. She's like, drive. It's like, okay. Anyway.
I love it.
And Resurrection will not be coming back until January 4th, so you won't have to hear me talk about it until then.
You know that's less than a month from now.
I know, but it still gives you some time.
Oh, God. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That was on Sunday night. Oh, also on Sunday night. You talk about classy stuff, though. We can talk about the affair.
we don't have to hand it off. But the affair was
we'll talk together.
Did you watch the affair?
Yeah.
I'm still in the camp that's like, where is season 2 taking us? But it was very interesting how we were back to the minute their lives intersect again. The stories are very different.
My God, I talked about that.
Yeah, like Allison's grandmother is sick, and in What's His Face's version, she finds out in front of him.
Right.
In her own version, doesn't she go? No,
she home.
Finds out alone.
She's with her husband,
and then she goes and sees her mom there, and then she goes back again, right?
Right. That's when she goes back with him.
That's when she goes back with
But Noah. She had already
she already knew.
Yeah, she knew, and she knew in front of her husband, Pacey.
Yeah.
What's his real name on the show? Cole. She knew in front of Cole.
And he's like, I'll go with you. And she's like, no,
stay away from here.
And they seem to be fine, so I don't know, like, where that came from. I mean, yeah. But anyway, because she hadn't seen What's His Face in months, so I don't, and they're, like, trying to make a baby, so I don't know why she was snapping at him just yet.
It didn't make sense.
But her mom is a trip.
Athena with her new boo, Scholastics or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
He's like, hi, I'm Scholastics. It's like, excuse me? Get out of here.
Oh, yeah. And the wife, even in Noah's version, she's becoming more like slightly unpleasant.
The wife is unavailable for any of
Yes.
this. The scene that kind of got me. So everybody was going off about this woman who's the therapist. Who is she? They were like, oh my God, it's whatever her name is. And I was like, who?
Was it Margot?
The therapist woman. Everybody was so amped about this therapist woman being there.
I remembered her when I saw her, but I didn't go off. Let me see.
Well, they all went off, and I didn't know who the therapist woman was. They were like, oh my God, even the best part of the episode was she got 13 minutes or 13 seconds or whatever they said. And I was like, who is this woman? I don't even know who the woman was. I was like, oh, okay.
Now I have to look it up and see.
Yeah, it was like they were
who guest starred.
If you go on the hashtag or whatever, they were all the rage. It was like, you know what? This episode was great, but it was even better when we got to hang out with such and such, even if only for 5 seconds. And I was like, okay. But that therapist scene, you know, I'm like, hey, you guys got some real problems going on in this marriage that are deep-seated. And
yeah, I'm looking on the Hitflix and someone says, played by Blair effing Brown.
Yeah, see? Everybody's like amped. Who's Blair Brown?
Well, let's find out.
Okay. So I'll talk about this while you do that. So yeah, this therapist session to me was just a train wreck. And you learn the real reason that she married Noah. And then Noah's like, so realistically, you think I'm unrealized potential, and you married me because I was quiet and because I only talked to you. So where do you think this was going to go? Like, he was going to be like that for the rest of his life?
I know.
And did she not? She was like, well, I married. And then the funniest piece for me was when she said, I could have married anyone. I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, seriously.
I was like, oh, okay, then, boo. If that's how you see it, I could have been with anyone, but I chose you. And then
you were safe.
Yeah, you were safe. And basically, like, degrading him even further because, number one, he doesn't have any money, and the parents have to pay for the private school. The other kids, the little boy's like, I'm getting picked on for my math grade.
Yeah, I want to go to private school.
And it's like, who's going to pay for that?
Make me be a bitch to your grandpa.
Correct. Who's going to pay for that? Basically. And so then she further degrades him. So my whole thing is, I think where we're going to go here is this marriage is going to continue to dissolve.
Oh, yeah.
I think
there's no coming back from this now.
Yeah, it's going to end in
divorce.
Things have
been said.
Yeah, it's going to end in divorce, in my opinion. But the weird thing, too, was this like whole, was it her version? Yeah, when she gets out the car, he's like, I love you. And she's like, I love you too.
That was in her version.
Excuse me? I thought this was a summer fling.
In his version, I don't think we see past the hospital, do we?
No.
I think it ends with like grandma dying and they're at the hospital. But
oh, no. We do. Yes, exactly. He comes in the hospital.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But in her version, yes, he takes her home, like, and parks right outside the family house where
whose house
I'm
was
sure
that?
no one would be suspicious. The mother-in-law, Cole's mom.
Okay.
Who apparently on the preview for next week is into some
mess.
I don't know. She knows some things or is doing some things
about the affair, or she knows some things about the drugs.
I think the drugs or what's going on are the problems because someone says, and of course the way these things are edited, Allison could very well be talking to somebody else, but she's like, have you known the whole time? So somebody knew something the whole time.
Oh, I didn't get to see the preview.
And obviously she knows about the drugs because they were in the hospital room when dumbass tried to return them.
But I got confused because I didn't know if we were looking at a flashback because, of course, they went to, at the end of the episode, they went to each one of their stories. Noah's story, the detective went to his book signing for his very successful and popular book now that's going to be turned into a motion picture series about Montauk. And then the other one was them at the funeral for memorial for Scotty. So I got confused. Yeah. I was like, what time period are we in?
I'm thinking the funeral is quote unquote present day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they just finished the interrogations.
Okay.
So I think I guess it takes a day or two for funerals or whatever. And it seemed like the interrogations all happened one day. We just saw it over multiple weeks.
Right.
So I'm thinking this funeral scene is right after the interrogations. Now, Noah's book thing is weird because his wife was like, you can't blah, blah, blah off one book. And I don't remember his book being so successful that it was turned into a movie. Not that you'd get rich off that, but why are you so broke if your thing got optioned into a movie? So that's what I was wondering, too. I wasn't sure if they jumped forward for him or if his book is currently, if it only took 4 months for him to publish his book that wasn't written at the end of August. And now it's December and it's published and popular.
Right. Or maybe it's further down the line. Maybe this whole thing is a lot further down the line than what we...
Maybe they're reopening. Maybe they're reopening. No, but that doesn't make sense because if Scotty just died.
Well, they just had a memorial. They didn't have a funeral. So maybe he was missing.
Maybe.
And then he's dead. And then they're having a memorial. And then you remember the church had said, sorry, it's taken us a long time to get here.
Yes.
Memorial.
Yeah. So maybe some more time has passed. And then he goes back to the hotel and figures something out with the canceled reservation.
Yeah, which was strange because I thought that reservation was paid with cash.
It was paid with cash.
Oh, was that another hotel?
No, that was another hotel. Okay. But still, I guess the only thing the canceled reservation proves is that Noah
was there,
knew about the hotel because he asked Noah if he knew about the end and he said no. Okay. Because the hotel room was for his friend. That was when his crazy friend was in town.
Oh, right. The one.
So I guess it proves that he lied because if he made a reservation and canceled, he's heard of the place. Okay. So that lie may lead to something. But anyway, the affair is still good. We're still putting the pieces together. This season's almost over. I don't know what's happening next season.
Me neither, but I'm still sticking with it.
And I watched Gracepoint, which comes on Thursdays. It's almost done. I think there's like an episode or two left. I'm very much enjoying this mystery. No one I know watches it, so I'm glad that I got my I'm glad my landlord friend that I got her to watch because now she'll send me texts and say Gracepoint is so good, and I'm like, yeah, get caught up.
I like how you no one I know watches it.
No one I know watches it, but I feel like
because we watch a Scandal on Thursdays and How to Get Away with Murder.
They're not on right now.
I know, but I can't get involved in Gracepoint in the middle of this thing. I learned my lesson.
Gracepoint is on Hulu, and it's only 10 episodes, and then it's done.
Until Hulu pays us, I'm not mentioning their name anymore.
I think that's a great idea.
I'm just kidding. Okay.
But it's online. It's available online to stream legally.
But I have so many shows I already watch. I can't make another commitment.
I'm not asking you to make a commitment. I'm just saying, like, you're like, oh, people can't. And I'm like, people can, and it's available.
Okay.
So that's all I'm saying.
Watch Alaia's show with her, guys. She's clearly getting passionate about this topic. Somebody watch it.
When something's good, like some shows, I think, I mean, we may be the exception because we have, this podcast, but there are some shows you watch and it's good and it's over with, and it's even SVU. Like, I love SVU, but I don't talk about it much on the show because you kind of watch it and you move on. And who wants to talk about people getting raped every week? But like some shows, you like want to talk to somebody about. And so when people don't watch the show, I feel very lonely and I feel like I'm lacking in community. Like I want to say something and I have nobody to say it to. So I really need people to pity watch Gracepoint.
Okay.
So
we're here for you.
Yeah. And I like to play on the website, which is called suspecteveryone.com, and try to guess who committed the crime. So anyway.
Oh, wow.
Gracepoint's good. Okay. And I enjoy it.
All right.
And I only watched one other show, which was New Girl, and was not spectacular, but that's not shocking. And then I fell asleep before I could watch The Mindy Project, which that's your cue.
Oh, sorry. I watched some of it. I didn't watch all of it. I was eating my
See, people think we rehearse this.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no.
Just in case you didn't know.
Don't.
My bad. We did not rehearse this at all. It's just natural. This is right out of the dome. No, I was watching it only because I was sitting in the living room and I was eating some soup and it was on TV. Mm-hmm. I didn't enjoy it. I'm sorry. I tried to laugh. I could not. And it's probably because I'm just diving in and I don't know what's really going on. So there was one point that made me laugh. Other than that, I was really just in my soup and it was good. But I'm sure like for people who watch it, this episode is probably a good one because there was something about a ring and some other things. So I don't want to ruin it.
I'll find out. I'll watch it today.
But I think since you watch it and you know what's going on, I think it's.
I may enjoy it more.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good episode. There was a doctor on there who was acting like he was another doctor or something, or another guy.
Oh, no.
Okay, and then
there are definitely characters on the show that I don't like, and it's the same thing like when I watch a show like Friends. Like I didn't like this particularly dumb characters on that show.
So I think that's the dumb guy I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And then the funniest part for me was Mindy did this Ken Burns style documentary for this guy I guess she's dating, and Ken Burns actually was on it, and he was like, in that part I laughed when he said, yeah, he used to send me letters. At first I thought it was cute because he was a 10-year-old boy, but then they got quite obsessive that he wanted me to do a documentary about Staten Island or something. And I thought that was hilarious. Other than that, I kind of was like, in my soup.
Okay.
But I think, I think it'll be okay for you.
Yeah.
Can I get to the trash section of the show?
Pretty much, because that's all I watched on TV.
Okay, great.
Welcome
to the trash. I kind of gave a little bit of trash too with Resurrection.
You did. You mixed it in.
Yeah, I think Resurrection is part of the trash category, but whatevs. I watched Real Housewives of Atlanta. I think Real Housewives of Atlanta is by far one of my favorite housewife entities. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah? Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Entities, right? And that would be appropriate to describe the Real Housewives enterprise. I don't know. What would you describe it? Because there's like 30 of them. They call it
something. Franchise. They call it franchise.
Thank you. The entire franchise. So this episode, Kenya and Claudia, here's the best part of the episode. Let me just go there because I want to talk about another show and then I have some other stuff. The best part of the episode is the dinner. So they always find one person who can be kind of the glue that doesn't necessarily hold the group together, but has enough pull that they can bring the entire group together. But realistically, it's not that person. It's Bravo basically saying, listen, Andy Cohen's like, listen, booze, I need y'all to have this event. Okay.
Oh,
I'm going to pay you this money. Y'all going to come to this restaurant and y'all going to air out all these grievances. So what ended up happening was Candy, who now is the peacemaker of the group, right, is like, Fergia, and she talks to her teeth like this, Fergia, I really want you to come out to this event, and Cynthia, can you come out to this event, and Portia, and blah, blah, blah. So all the girls come together to this dinner, and it's supposed to be this reconciliation dinner, but of course, right, as you can expect in Housewives fashion, it just blows up. So Phaedra, who's one of my favorites, gives us a good fix it Jesus, which I love. When she's always like, fix it Jesus. Like she's calling out to Jesus, fix it Jesus. And she does that. Cynthia and Nene kind of go off back and forth on each other because they used to be the best of friends. Now they're not friends anymore because of the blogs and the tweets and the blah, 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 blah. So you have that little drama. Then we find out that Apollo has since lied about his involvement with Kenya Moore. So that goes, they air that out. They kind of apologize to Kenya in this backhanded way, but they really don't apologize to Kenya because why should you? Kenya has tormented us for the entire time she's been on this show. She deserves no apology, in my opinion. Then what else happens at the dinner? Portia kind of tries to go off a little bit, but doesn't happen much. They stole her peach, so she's not really going to be on the show for very much longer, which I don't understand because I feel like she should be on the show instead of this Claudia woman that they're introducing, who also is on the Ricky Smiley radio version of his morning show.
Oh.
Not the TV portion, because Portia's on the TV portion. Yeah, newsfeed. I don't know what it's called. That radio, you know that thing they do on TV, and it's like he has a show, and it's like all these other radio DJs from across somewhere, and they all are on this show. It's really weird. I don't understand what it's called. Radio DJ show. I don't know. But anyway, she's on that TV version, and this Claudia person is now on the radio version. And then Claudia gives us this sob story about her being biracial and all these other things, which I thought was really interesting because, I mean, the story, I'm sure a lot of people can relate to. And it was like some moments I was like, oh, I feel really bad for you. But other moments it's like, boo, if you didn't tell me you were biracial, I would have had no clue. So she talks about this struggle. It just was weird. It was a weird kind of conversation and a weird way to try to connect with people. And it didn't really work with me, but I did kind of feel sad for her. And Portia made some guacamole. That was pretty good. And let's see if anything else
You tasted
happened.
it?
No, but everyone was talking about it. It looked like it was delicious. It looked like Chipotle guacamole. Candy's trying to buy her mom a house again. And that was about it. It was a good episode. I'm looking forward to the next one. Then on Watch What's Happening Live or something, I guess Nene was there with Kim Zorzabak or Zabromnanak or whatever her last name is. Don't be tardy for the party.
Zolciak.
Okay, there we go. I wanted to call her
tardy for the party.
Borznak. Like
did an album actually come out? I saw her at a restaurant once. I was sitting behind her and I could see her tracks. But anyway.
Don't be tardy for the tracks.
You know when she had that like wig line that she wanted to do?
Yes.
Like I could see the net under the wig and I thought, well, I hope this isn't one that you're selling. Because
her first wig, do you remember on the first season of that show how all of those women, they were like real housewives and we were like real, you know, socialites and everything. And I was like, oh, serious? Because each one of them, I mean, they look much more polished now than they did back then. But it's like back then when they were trying to have this air about them, I was like, are you guys serious? I mean, you look just like average people who just go out. I mean, I go out to restaurants too. Do you want to follow me around the camera? I mean, I guess. Anyway, so that was Real Housewives of Atlanta. Next week it's supposed to be good. I'll watch it. Let's talk about 90 Day Fiancé. How about it? Let me just start by this. And TLC is not endorsing this program. They might want to start. TLC, I would just like to go on record saying thank you for 90 Day Fiancé. 90 Day Fiancé, I've said this before and I'll say it again. It gives me a sense of pride of who I am as an individual. You know what I mean? Have you watched a show? You watch a show and you're like, you know what? I really am a fantastic person. And gosh darn it,
I watch a lot of shows that make me feel better about myself.
Yeah, like you look in the mirror and you like, that guy smiling.
I'm not as bad as I thought.
Gosh darn it, I'm an awesome person and everybody loves me. 90 Day Fiancé. Have you started watching it yet?
No, not yet.
Are you serious?
I've been watching holiday movies.
Let me tell you something. Okay. When you get
I'll watch
to
it soon. I'll watch it this winter season, I promise.
When you get
before
to
the month is over.
When you get to it, it's gonna give you the type of laughter that you require on a daily basis. And it's just magical. So my friend Muhammad and Danielle's the one that everybody's very suspicious of being in a right state. Muhammad, of course, is gonna marry her. He's the one from Tunisia. This shocks me to no end. He goes to a immigration lawyer on the day of their wedding because he says, I need to find out what I'm getting myself into because she lost her job. And so Danielle loses the job. She has these 3 kids that live with her and then a
90 Day Fiancé
and another older son and his 90 Day Fiancé. And so he basically is going into this whole thing of, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. She lost her job. She lost everything. Now I'm over here. What's going to happen? So he goes to the immigration lawyer to ask that. So I was basically like, listen, everyone, if you had any hope that Muhammad actually loved Danielle, this trip to the immigration lawyer should have set you right. It was horrible. Jason and Cassia is the one from Brazil. Jason is a 38-year-old man that lives with his father in Spring Clear, Florida somewhere. He sells things on eBay. She's getting pissed because he's always working at these auctions. That was funny. Danny and Amy, who everyone has hope for. I remember their names now. Amy's a South African woman. Danny's the young white male from Philadelphia or Pittsburgh, somewhere like that. Their wedding is what we're seeing. And his father is, of course, the person who's a little bit of a bigot. A little bit is an understatement. And he's saying all these remarks. And Amy's family is just kind of like, okay, whatever, bro. But it was really a nice event. They kind of came around a little bit. His mother, Danny's mother, acts like she's surprised that she's married to a racist. Every time he makes these racist comments, she kind of looks at him in shock and smiles. But it's like, boo, this is your husband. Then he gives us further reason to understand why the brother said say something in African. I think I said that last week.
Yes, you did. I'll never forget that.
Then Chelsea, who is with Yamir, who is the band member from My Love Ox. Chelsea's like talking to him because he wants to go to Chicago. This is what I commented on. They're speaking in Spanish. Spanish is such a beautiful language if you've never really listened to it. I mean, I have, but just listening to them talk, they're delivering such bad news, but it sounded so beautiful and sexy. He was basically saying, like, I got to go to Chicago or I can't be here. Like, I don't feel whole. I don't feel complete. But it was just so beautiful the way they were saying it. I was like, this is such a delicious language, Spanish. I know it's one of the love languages, but, you know, it's delicious. So that happened. He's going to go do some stuff. Muhammad looks disgusted. That was kind of about it. There was some portions of Evelyn and the other dude. I can't remember his name. Justin, maybe. I don't know. I don't have a place for them. And then Daya and Brett, they're going to have some drama the next one. Daya's the woman from the Philippines. Brett is the one who lives with the two butch lesbian looking women. I don't know if they're lesbians for real, but they look like it. And he lives with them and they're finally going to get an apartment. And that's about it. That was 90 Day Fiancé. It was a great episode. I can't wait for next week. I think next week is the season finale. I hope it's not, but I think it is. You know, I can never keep up with those things. But we're going to have weddings next week. Muhammad and Danielle's wedding.
So it may be a finale.
Yeah, Muhammad and Danielle's wedding. Amy and Danny's wedding. I think we're going to see Evelyn and Justin. That's his name. I think their wedding's going to happen. And I don't know about Jason and Cassia. And I don't know about Yamir. And because they can't show all the couples every episode, but they figured out a way to do it this time. So anyway, that's 90 Day Fiancé, and I think everyone should watch it. I can't wait for Breaking Amish to come back, which is my new favorite show. I also am waiting for Extreme Cheapskates to come back. It's also my new favorite show. And then, of course, 19 Kids and Counting is on hiatus for a little bit. It's also my favorite show as well, because I love the Duggars. Oh, and for anyone who believes the rumors that Jana Duggar is now dating Tim Tebow, those are false.
You decided?
I've done my research.
Okay.
Oh, and anyone else who's thinking that John David is courting the anonymous young woman in the photos, that is also false. Thank you and good night. That is my trash portion of the show.
I think we're good.
I had other trash, though, from a pop culture standpoint.
Okay.
This is not trashy, so I'm leading in with this because then I thought you'd feel proud of me for doing some research about awards. So, did you see the news about Viola Davis?
No.
And how do you pronounce her name from Orange is the New Black? Uzo Aduba?
Something like that.
Okay, great. They both were nominated for SAG Awards. Isn't that great?
Yep.
Viola is in a very kind of tough category, I think.
Tell me who some of the other nominees are, if
for
you know.
drama, sure. I'm on it. Watch this.
Look at this.
Don't sleep on this pimpin'. Claire Danes for Homeland, which I've heard she does really well in.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she has that
similar.
one cry. That cry. You know what I mean? Watch it. It's everywhere. One cry. Juliana, whatever.
Margulies,
who won all the goddamn Oscars and all.
I know.
This one I'm really proud of to see in this category. Tatiana Maslany from Orphan Black.
I still need to watch that.
Very good woman. She's the best.
Plus, we have those friends of ours who listen in who have the Orphan Black podcast. So I feel like gotta watch that.
Orphan Black is thebomb.com. So I think this is a very tough category. Maggie Smith from Downton Abbey.
Okay.
Which I still think should be called Downtown Abbey, but whatever.
So do I.
And then Robin Wright from House of Cards.
God, I want her to win, but she's not going to.
Right. And that really sucked. Let me tell you something, though. In this thing, if I'm looking back, okay, I really wanted Tatiana to win as well because I think she does a really great job in Orphan Black, but she's up against some stiff competition. But if you look back to this, Viola Davis and How to Get Away with Murder, let me tell you something. That's the whole reason I watched that show. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Ugh.
Okay, and then comedy, Uzo is in with Julie Bowen from Modern Family. I don't know what to say, Bowen. Edie Falco, Nurse Jackie, and then Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who probably is going to win for Veep. But then also,
probably. I always forget that Nurse Jackie's still on.
And then Amy Poehler, which is tough.
Deserved, but she won't win. Well, you know what? Screen actor, she's likable. I don't know. It's tough. Both categories are tough.
I know. And then Brooklyn Nine-Nine made it, and Modern Family, Orange is the New Black, and Veep, and Big Bang Theory for comedy ensemble. I'm trying to see anything else that you care about. And then this is one I'm really excited to see too. The outstanding performance by an ensemble drama series, Boardwalk Empire. I'm looking at Downton Abbey at the same time, and I don't know why I put power.
I don't know why that.
Because I went to the P and then the OW because I was looking ahead. Boardwalk Empire, Downton Abbey, Game of Thrones, Homeland, and House of Cards.
Oh God. I don't know.
Okay, so here's something strange. This is an extra in this article. Cuba Gooding Jr. and Sarah Paulson have been cast as O.J. Simpson and Marsha Clark in FX's America's Crime Story. And closing that out.
So they had American Horror Story, so now they have America's Crime Story.
Closing that out.
That must be what it is, because Sarah Paulson is also an American Horror Story.
Closing that out. I can't give you any more information about that.
April Fool's early?
I don't think so. I think this is real.
You know, there's something about her face that I like, and I don't know why.
I don't know who she is.
Her face should upset me, but it doesn't.
Who is that?
She's on American History X, and American Horror Story, and she was in American Years a Slave.
Okay, we're making fun of me.
Now you got
American Years a Slave.
She was in.
That's the name of the podcast title. American Years a Slave.
She was in 12 Years a Slave. She played like somebody's wife or sister or something.
Okay.
She's been in a lot of things. She was in Deadwood, and I don't know. She's around. Okay. She's not always the leading lady. But like I said, look her up, Google her. Her face should annoy me, but it doesn't. Okay. There's something about it I like. I don't know.
So does she look Marsha Clark-ish? Do you remember Marsha Clark? And
I do, but now I need
that awesome Jerry curl-ish curl hair that she had.
I don't remember the Jerry curl.
Are you serious? Her hair was like a little Jerry curl. It was really great.
I'm looking at now, like if you Google Marsha Clark, you can see a picture of Sarah Paulson right next to Marsha Clark.
Are you serious? That's horrible.
Because that's the news. I mean, you see her on the news side. No. I'm sure acting wise she'll get it and they'll change her hair and make her look a little older, but she doesn't look like it to me.
Okay.
I wonder who plays Kato. Kato.
Oh, okay. No, she doesn't look like her. They can make her look like her, though.
They can make her look. That's what I'm saying.
I could see that.
But now, do you recognize her?
I do. I know who she is.
Yeah.
I don't know her for anything else. I'm sure she's done other things.
I don't see her act much, but I see her around. And you know what? I also think I remember her recently. Remember when those pictures came out of Renee Zellweger?
Oh, yes. And they put her
She was next to Renee Zellweger.
Okay, here's why I know. Okay, so the brown hair threw me off. I know her as a blonde.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay. Let's see. Let's do a little more trash here. This is necessarily trash, but this is a mention because of who is involved in this story. It's my honorable Idris Elba mention for this week. So, K. Michelle has this new album coming out, which I don't really listen to K. Michelle's music, but it's called something like, Do You Want to Listen to My Album or something? It's something that's the name of the title, like, Do You Want a Song? I think it's the name of the album or something. Almost as bad as like Drake's tour that was like, Do You Really Want to Tour? Which I'm like, okay, anyway. So she goes on the Breakfast Club and she's talking to those peeps, Angela Yee and such. And she starts to share a little information, some of which is about Idris Elba. So I guess Idris did some sort of video for her.
Oh.
A while ago.
What kind of video?
A music video. He directed a music video. Okay. So she goes on to say that she's from Memphis. That's why they live. That's why I know about her, because they loved her in Memphis. They talked about her all the time in Memphis. Oh, her album's called Anybody. Here it is. You ready? Anybody Want to Buy a Heart? This is probably where I'll leave the show because I don't want to talk about this other thing because I'm about to get into it. The promos that I've seen for this whole thing have been all these pictures of her with like roses shoved in her ass. She's on all fours in black and white, and there's just like like a bouquet of flowers in her crack. It looks as if like her crack is a vase. Like 1-800-Flowers is like, would you like a vase? A very beautiful centerpiece or K. Michelle's ass?
Look, I am not saying the 50s and 60s were like a great time to live, because for many of us it was not. But if you just think back to those times, it was like a race to be the classiest, most gorgeous, highly respected. What happened? You got the Anaconda cover. You've got roses coming out of some chick's butt.
Yeah, it's
like a race to the bottom. How much can you get away with?
You have people that want to be classy, okay? But here's the problem. I don't think that it's that there aren't classy people. I think for the sake of the media, this is what sells. Like, this is what we're talking about it now, right?
Well, I mean, people are whoring themselves out for the media.
Exactly. So, I mean, they want the attention, and they got to do what they got to do for the attention. So if you saw, I mean, they're all, when I've seen these photos, I was like, is that a bouquet? Okay. So anyway, on this whole interview with the Breakfast Club, she basically goes on to say that this album is about Idris Elba. I'm not going to sit up here and lie to y'all. Okay. On how their fling affected his relationship with his son's mother, Niana Garth. I don't know. He's not married. On if he's actually in a relationship with her. Yeah, I think they are now. On Idris hearing her album, I sent him these records before they came out. He said, this is art. I hate that we're at this place. We had such a creative situation and relationship that I thank him for a lot of things. He brought that music out of me, and he taught me a lot. On their split, they were together, I guess, for allegedly 8 months. I'm sorry, not 8 years. Oh, God. We went through things. We dated for 8 months. I wasn't used to a man who got up in the morning, put on Burberry and tight slacks on their relationship. When he first tried to talk to me, I told him your jeans are too tight. I met him out at the Soul Train Awards, and he said with that accent, hey, K. Michelle, I think you're beautiful. I thought he was fine, but I never liked him. You know, I wanted the rappers. This is what she's saying. Oh. There's no hate for Idris. You know, he's a good man. You know, my thing is go raise your kid. I'm not trying to get in the way of that. I'm not in the way of his baby mama and his family right now. I've been a woman. He had the baby. I was kind of like, I'm not going to get in the middle of it. What kind of woman I am? Leave your family, come be with me? I think that as a woman, I did the right thing. And then, here's this. So on what he said about their relationship, he told me we had a future. He directed my opera for free. Okay. So that's it. Idris, I feel like my next love note is going to be why. But again, I'm still loyal to Idris Elba, but I just am having a hard time with that. And then last thing is Chris Brown, Karrueche, they had a fight.
Yeah, whatever. Who cares?
On Instagram, Drake was involved. They're making a lot of fun. It's really funny. They're saying, hey, Drake, stop dating everybody's girlfriends. I thought it was awesome. And then the Whitney Houston trailer came out. Looks like it's going to be a good one.
Not going to watch it.
It looks like it's going to be actually good, though.
Oh, legit?
Yeah.
I thought you were being sarcastic.
No, seriously.
It's on Lifetime, so I feel like I don't trust it, and someone else should watch these things first and then tell me.
This one is going to...
Because I can get them on demand.
I think this one is going to be good. I think Angela Bassett's behind this one. Right? Who actually knew Whitney Houston. So I think this one is actually going to be a good one. The casting looks pretty believable. I think this one will be a good one.
Did you watch the Red Book Wench tent?
Oh, I saw that, and then I went to go look to see what it was about, and it was something about biblical characters as superheroes or something, and I was like,
This woman in the Bible who has one line, this is the rest of her story. So basically, it's artistic license for some biblical chick, but I didn't watch it.
I saw, somebody was talking about, now I'm going to go watch Red Dawn or whatever.
Red
and I was like, whatever.
I don't know. To me, that just sounds like a period, but it sounds like a euphemism for a period.
It sure does.
But I was too busy making soup and watching holiday movies, so I didn't even bother.
And watching American slavery story.
America Years a Slave.
America Years a Slave. I got to make sure I remember that.
Oh, God.
I'm writing that down. You know what I'm going to do for 2015? This is totally unrelated. I'm going to start writing down every funny thing that anyone ever says so I can always go back to it. Because you remember, do you remember that funny thing such and such said? You're like, no. You're like, oh, God, I wish I could remember it. Maybe I'll make a website.
I know.
Like, rememberallthefunnythings.com. Allthefunnythings.com. Ooh, that's a genius idea. I'm writing that down.
Well, you should secure that domain before this episode comes out.
America Years a Slave. That's what Alaia said. And you can have all of them in one place, and people can go and look at them and laugh. Like if I wrote down America Years a Slave, somebody else would be like, "What? That's kind of funny though." Ha ha ha. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Okay. That's all I have this week.
Well, that's good. We have a full show, lots of laughs,
lots of good times.
Sneak peek at the next 2 weeks.
Ooh, turn up.
So we're rounding out the year with our top 10 moments in TV and movies.
I'm having such a hard time with that.
And pop culture moments. I
started. I started. Poorly.
I started.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, and I was saying this to someone on Facebook earlier because I was watching a funny video that they posted. It's really hard I think in this pop culture world and all this stuff coming out, like there's a lot of hilarious and great stuff that we've seen. It's hard to keep track of it and remember it.
I know.
If that wasn't your intention in the beginning,
right.
You know, like I'm doing better now since we decided to do these wrap up episodes for you guys at the end of the thing. I've been like keeping links and like naming them things that I'll remember, like Gorgeous Baby. She's not on the list, but she should be. But, you know, like, so I'm like naming them properly, but it's really hard. Like, quick example, my Facebook friend posted this picture. It was like security cam footage, 4 minutes of this person trying to back out of a parking space with their SUV. And I said, well, there's a worse one. And she's like, how does it get worse than this? I'm like, well, in the other one, the person's driving a small car. So there's really no excuse. But I'm like, there's no way I could ever find that video again because someone shared it on their page. It doesn't have a title. So there's so many things like that that I think are out there that, like, unless the person made it to Ellen, like apparently boy, like it's harder to track.
That's why
I'm building the list.
That's why I remember the funny things and or allthefunnythings.com will have a place for you, I think, to put in your links and save it with your account. And you can always go back and remember the funny things. This is an important website. Who wants to help me build this? Because I don't know how to build things.
I can help you build it.
Okay. If they build it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to build our man site too, because I still need that. I don't know if you do.
I need a man.com?
Yeah.
That was the greatest idea we ever had. What happened to that?
I don't know. We need to do something.
Yeah. Okay. We got a lot of things to do.
Clearly in our hiatus, we'll be building.
Clearly on our hiatus, we will be building Remember the Funny Things, or allthefunny.com and I need a man.com, which was really awesome. And it's not even any sort of way to make women feel less than. It is all about women's empowerment. I always say paramount. Women's empowerment movement. Maybe because I have a little southern hick in me. Paramount. Okay.
My mom asked me if you were Southern the other day. But anyway.
Do I sound Southern?
It was because of something I said. She's like, who are you spending time with that you're starting to say things this way? And she's like, is Brandi Southern? Okay. And I'm like,
tell her I'm influencing you in a bad way. And that's my hope.
I'll text her that right now.
No, don't. I like it.
Anyway, kids, you can hit us up in the normal places. But if you're new, Facebook.com/18to49, Twitter, 18to49 podcast, email 18to49podcast@gmail.com, 18to49podcast.com on the web.
We have a Facebook? No, I'm just kidding.
Our Facebook is awesome.
It is.
We share things.
I'm not putting that Idris story up there, though, because that's my one obligatory post, and I'm not doing it. I refuse. I don't want anybody to read that mess.
Don't.
Mess.
All right, kids. We'll be back next week with something special for you.
All right. See you then.
Bye.